And we welcome back. Okay, we're back with that DDF podcast. We got the short stack today. Only three of us. You have myself, we have the commish, and we got BK over there. Uh, well, guys, it seems to be the Chiefs just continuously get bailed out. This time it's that PI call in the end zone. Surprise! Who would have thought the Chiefs get bailed out in the last minute again? Aaron Rodgers might be 40, but he looks like he's going on 30. I mean, holy crap, he looked really good. And is Jaden Daniels possibly the early Rookie of the Year call? I don't know. But just like Andy Dalton's career, we're off running in the regular season. And boys, we're not looking too good right now. At least for me. Lowest scoring team in the entire league. I think I didn't even break 120 points this week. And a lot of that goes with sitting Chuba, thinking, oh, it's the Panthers who's going to score for them. Come to find out it's going to be Chuba scoring for them. Also decided to play Calvin Ridley instead of D-Hop, and DeAndre Hopkins decided to have a pretty good week this week, behind even having Will Levis as the quarterback. Looking great.
That's a really tough call when it comes to the Tennessee wide receivers, dude. Like, it's going to be one or the other. You're never going to start both of them.
No, I made that mistake once, and it was a terrible idea.
It's almost at this point you need to trade one of them just so you don't have them on your team anymore.
For peace of mind. Yeah.
I did try that. I actually sent to Nick. I actually sent a trade to Nicky P. He denied both of them. But
He should be looking to trade fucking Tyreek Hill this year.
yeah, I mean Tyreek is 30, 31 now.
Yeah.
31.
But his stock is falling like crazy with the way the Dolphins look.
Yeah, Dolphins not looking pretty right now.
So.
Well, it's just hard, man, when your franchise QB's out because he doesn't know how to wear a guardian cap and he's got a history. And I mean, all the rumors out there talking about trading for Bryce Young. I mean, even old man let Russ cook. I mean, to me, I think those are all better options right now for Miami until he can get healthy and try to make a run.
Could
Yeah.
be.
But that's a good segue that you had right there. So over on our Spotify side, we had put out a poll on our latest episode just to kind of go over, kind of get everyone's thoughts. The poll was asking if Tua should even consider or return. And we had so many votes, all of two. And it was actually funny because they each had a different opinion. They each said there was one vote for each of yes, he should return, and one for another.
The nation is undecided.
So the entire nation, decided by two people, is
I
divided.
voted. I promise you I voted.
Well, and so with that, I mean that opens a conversation of should Tua come back. We talked a little bit about it last week, but it seems that everyone else kind of thinks is kind of split. I'm on the side of Tua should really consider retiring because might be the face of CTE in the next few years. I mean, he needs to think about his non-football life. But
I guess I could probably agree with that. Like, he does need to consider his life after football. However, I would also say that he does need to probably come back because players go absolutely bankrupt. Like, a very high percentage of players go bankrupt after they're done playing. Even with the NFL pension, which I think kicks in after like 3 or 4 years. I'm not really certain on that one.
I think it's 3.
But
Yeah.
is it 3? But
It's 3.
that's not enough to sustain these guys. Like, if you watch that ESPN documentary Broke, like that opened my eyes to how ridiculous, like how out of hand these guys can get with their money and how they can be penniless in the streets, especially those old football players because they have to take care of these old injuries and stuff.
yeah.
So, I mean, while I do support the idea that he does need to take care of himself, and he absolutely should put on the damn, like that giant, like bullpen helmet that they made for, I don't even know what it does, just like reduce the chance of concussions? Is that what the Guardian helmet does, or?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he absolutely should have been wearing that. I don't think he'll have trouble wearing it. All he has to do is just make the decision to wear it. I think it's up to his coach to make him wear it. I think he can do that. I don't think he can make the decision whether or not he can come back, but he absolutely should make the decision. Like, you need to make, like, it's in your best interest because you want to keep yourself healthy, but it's in the team's best interest because it keeps your stupid ass out there, dude. You can't be doing this kind of shit. You saw how bad they were last week, too. I mean, God help me. I was joking around endorsing Skylar Thompson, but I know he's bad. And Jeff Driscoll, I think he sucks too, but he's better than Skylar Thompson.
Yeah. I mean, to put your point though, I mean, we have a perfect example, right? Those of us have been playing fantasy for a long time, NFL fans. We'll remember the really good running back, Javad Best, out of, in Detroit for many, many years, and that's why he ultimately ended up retiring from the NFL, was because of his concussions.
Because he bounced off his head in the end zone.
Yeah, that doesn't help either. But I think you have to. Yes, I understand you have the ability right now to get generational money, but it doesn't matter if you're sitting in a wheelchair and can't do anything.
Yeah. So just a conversation that we've been having, but that kind of carries over into another topic. Our whole fantasy team, our whole league is built around, not only just, we have our full PPR, but we also go through the IDP, or individual defensive players. And we haven't talked much about it, so jumping into that, is there any defensive players that you guys have been looking at? Is there any standouts for you? Because, with fantasy football, a lot of times you're drafting the team defense, the team special teams defense. But that's not how we roll. We go for those individual players. So is there any standouts maybe on your team or just in general that you're looking at? Or is there maybe a trade you're looking to make?
Oof. I can't trade any of my players, unfortunately. The major standout defensive player for me is the linebacker / defensive lineman for the Minnesota Vikings, Andrew Van Ginkel. If you are one of those people out there that does IDP, you'll see that maybe his projections are always they're not that impressive. But if you've played fantasy football for longer than, I don't know, a month and a half, you should know that projected points don't mean jack shit. So he's been projected to get maybe 4.5 points a game. He's gotten 10, 15, and 10, respectively. So, I mean, that's better than Travis Kelce will ever do. And we'll get on that point a little bit later. So, that's definitely the guy that I've been seeing. Because he's on my team. And, obviously I see his production week in, week out. But, you see a lot of different, depending on the team, you see a lot of guys really highlighted for their defensive play throughout the weeks. I mean, if you watch any Pittsburgh Steelers game, you're going to hear TJ Watt's name no short of 25 times. Every single time, because he's just such a great player and he puts up a lot of points. I don't know about you guys. What players have you been seeing?
Man, on my own team, I haven't looked too much into anyone else's, but at least on my side, I was very critical of him week 1, but going into 2 and even 3, I really liked my backs. Derwin James, Kyle Hamilton. 2 of the most elite defensive backs you can have. Of course, Derwin James decides to go and get suspended for a game, but okay. I'm not going to get started on that because I got heated when I saw he got suspended. But they have been my standouts on defense. We always talk about linebackers are going to be your points-heavy players on that side, but really, my defensive backs have been my standouts. They've been scoring very well. But, of course, I need to go figure out something because Mr. Derwin James decided to get suspended for a game because of a quote-unquote dangerous hit, which he wasn't even flagged for when that hit happened. But, whatever. I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
You're not bitter about it either.
No, not at all.
Not at all. No,
I'm very level.
I know for me, when I was building this team, right, I wanted to go out and try to get a young stud DN, right? And so the year we started this thing is when Aiden Hutchinson was a rookie. The guy was the number 2 overall pick. definitely snagged him for my franchise. I was just kind of looking at everything. I try to get guys that I thought would be on the field a lot, that make plays. You got usual suspects out there, right? You've got your middle linebacker guys. Like for me, like getting out and getting Bobby Wagner was huge. The guy always consistently puts up over 100 tackles every year. Fell into drafting Sauce Gardner was a guy that just kind of fell into my lap a little bit. That turned out really well, picking him up his rookie year. Devon Witherspoon, same thing.
What a grab.
Yeah, just guys I didn't mean to get, but I know for this league, I think really what counts is it's sacks, it's those tackles for loss. That's what really gets you. And you really have to find those guys. Unless they're going to average 10 to 15 tackles a game, you really got to find that off the edge guy that's going to get you, maybe 2 or 3 a game, and that's really when they can impact you.
Yeah, for sure.
And just hope your defensive backs get a handful of tackles.
Yeah, those defensive backs, they're sneaky.
Yeah.
It's usually the defensive backs that are on bad teams that are more favored than most because they're just like usually they have bad linebackers on those teams, so people always get out to like the third level of their defense. So
yeah,
or they get thrown out a lot and all that other shit.
Well, and that's the thing too about IDPs. You don't necessarily you don't want the shutdown back, the shutdown corner. They don't get the ball thrown at them, so you want that number 2 guy, the slot guy that's their receiver. Maybe the safeties, right? Those hybrid safeties that we're seeing in today's NFL. They can play in the box. Those are the guys you want. The Buda Bakers, the Batemans, Jesse Bates, Kevin Baird, those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because Kyle, I think you have Sauce, don't you? You have Sauce Gardner?
I do have Sauce.
Which, I mean, as amazing as he is, that can be a tough defensive player to have because he is that lockdown corner, like you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm happy if I get 3 points out of Sauce when I start him.
Yeah, because quarterbacks don't want to throw his way.
Yeah.
I still don't know why you don't have Kool-Aid on your team.
Kool-Aid. Have Sauce and Kool-Aid.
Absolutely, man. Why not?
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
You can pick him up at any
time. What's
time.
going to happen?
I mean, I have a good idea of what's going to happen. You're just not going to do that.
He's like, maybe I will.
Probably not.
Probably.
Yeah.
Unless Kevin Baird gets hurt, I got an opening on my defensive backs. No point.
I already took a look. There's plenty of like safeties and defensive linemen and all that out there. So I mean, you're fine. Every defensive lineman has like linebacker eligibility too. So
yeah,
it's not gonna be too hard to find yourself a good
yeah.
player.
Yeah, that's what I really like about Sleeper. Shout out to Sleeper, even though you don't sponsor us.
You don't need to. You're the best.
I mean, just how they break down everything.
We use you, you love you.
And hey, if you want us to promote your betting, shoot us an email.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
Desert Dynasty Football at gmail.com. Business inquiry.
$1, I'll absolutely take it. I'll put 50 cents.
Just throw a couple quarters. It's like, you know what? You get a free $1 bet.
Screw oil, man. I'll take it.
So it's actually funny looking at all of the highest available week 4 projected IDP players out there. Tyrell Dodson is out there for Seattle. We're not going to talk about Mosley because he's out right now. Drew Tranquil is available. And I'm not going to include Anzalone and then Nicholas Morrow. So just to kind of give listeners an idea of what kind of players are available, that's
odds are you guys don't even know who the hell those players are unless they play for your team.
Yeah.
And even then, it's not a guarantee. I'm a Cardinals fan. I don't know half the linebackers. Honestly.
Yeah.
I forgot that we even signed Mac Wilson Sr.
No kidding,
Until
right?
he had his fake pick.
Oh. We don't need to get into that fucking shit. We got robbed.
So for listeners out there, I was out of town this weekend, so I wasn't able to catch any games. I was being a little too happy in good old Disneyland. Disney. I'll happily talk about Disney if you want to throw me money.
Fuck you, Mickey.
God damn it. Well, there goes that.
Sponsor him. I have no love for Disney.
Well, I do, so. But, so you want to recap actually a little bit of the actual NFL games. Boys, how are the Cardinals?
Um, they're 1-2. They hard to say. It's an interesting year for the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
They lost the first game.
What I thought they would be. They're exactly what I thought they would be. They put up points. They give us hope, and then because of lack of depth right now, and how young we are, just won't come through.
I mean, they're actually better than I thought they were. They were in week 1 against Buffalo in Buffalo. They beat the shit out of the Rams that have, like, I don't know. I think I have a starting position open for me as some of their offensive lineman spots. And we were in it with Detroit for the most part, even though we couldn't run the ball because Detroit is the best run defense. Even though we got fucked up real hard because the refs called the goddamn play dead because they have a hard on to get to the 2-minute warning for some fucking reason.
That's what
TV timeouts. They got to make money too.
You know, just speaking of the refs, right? I don't know what it is, but to me, this seems like one of the worst years for refereeing thus far in about a decade.
It's bad.
Well, I mean, it's pretty bad. There are referees that you know, like when you see them on, that they're at the game, they're probably going to blow the whistle a lot. None of their names really, I don't really remember many names of the actual refs anymore. At least the bad ones anyway, they're not in the league anymore. Jerome Boger was like the worst one. I remember him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you see the Chiefs on the screen, you know the refs are going to be very happy to blow whistles for them too.
Well, the Chiefs are God's gift to NFL fans, man. Like, they just need to win every single game. You can't have Taylor Swift pouting in the box, so they need to be able to win every game so she can jump up and down like a fucking child on Christmas. So, I mean, nobody is that big of a fan on like routine plays. It's all for show. It's nonsense, and like it's designed to make like traditional football fans angry, but it's also going to bring in like younger the female demographic and younger people, like, just because she's the biggest pop star on earth, and good for her, but I don't give a shit. Her music is dull and boring, and I don't want to see her on TV every week. So,
I mean,
that's just me, but my vote doesn't count.
Looking at footballzebras.com, they give you the refs, right? Who they are. On the list there, I recognize 3 names. That's it. Lee Blakeman.
Is one of them Land Clark?
Land Clark is somebody that I recognize because of his name, but I couldn't tell you.
His name is ridiculous. Like, who the hell names are good Land?
Clete Blakeman's been there for a while. Bill Vinovich has been there for a long time.
Yeah, he looks old.
Yeah, and of course, you have to go with Sean Hockley, the son
Guns
of
Jr.
The son of 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week. You two can have guns like Ed Hockley.
Yeah, he carries the law books up and down stairs.
Man, he's been carrying the referee whole profession. Yeah, I mean,
when you look at that, I mean, a lot of younger guys. You know, a lot of these I'm looking at it, and I can see like they were either sideline judges in the past or backfield judges and got promoted. But Ron Torbert's been around a while too.
I like him,
but it's just, I mean, there's so many blatant things that you see lately that's like, come on.
Well,
and when you start getting like the random fans, right? You know, I was sitting at a work thing today, and someone who's a casual NFL fan was like, it was like the Chiefs win all the time. Yeah, because that's the way it appears.
Yeah. Well, and looking into last week, people were always talking about, there was like X, Y, and Z. Like that was a PI.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
he got there too soon, for sure.
Yeah, he definitely got there too soon. So not complaining about that call. That was fine. Before the pass, though, a little bit of holding, a little bit of hands in the face.
Yeah.
couldn't get to Mr. Mahomes, and then we jump into week 3. Very similar to week 2. What they did call against the Bengals, they didn't call for the Chiefs in the end zone, which also just happened to be my tight end. So, not bitter about that either.
Okay.
If you can't tell, I was very bitter this week.
You have no room to talk about being bitter about tight ends this year, man. That is
how's your used to be shoe-in tight end number 1?
It's not my fault that he fell off the fucking planet. I don't know. And God forbid the fucking NFL had to take a photo of him looking like the saddest man on the planet on the fucking sideline with his weird pedo fucking like goatee. He needs to grow the full beard and get a new girlfriend. Like, I'm tired of this fucking shit.
Well, I don't care about the whole Taylor Swift stuff. It's more just
It's really not even her. When the Chiefs are throwing to Justin Watson and not their prized tight end, who's been like the best at his position for the better part of a decade, and they're not throwing it to him anymore. There's a real problem on that fucking team. But they keep winning, so why bother changing anything?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's funny because I mean, if I hear anyone complain about like the Chiefs don't have weapons yet they still win, like I don't want to hear it. Rashee Rice is good. Xavier Worthy is, I would say, maybe the second best wide receiver out of this rookie class so far.
Nope.
You wouldn't say second?
No. I give that to Neighbors.
Well, I would have Neighbors.
Neighbors might be the first one. I'd say
Neighbors
Marvin
is
Harrison
number
probably
1 for
the second.
me.
Marvin Harrison has like 3 touchdowns on the year. Worthy only has like, I think he got 2 week 1, but he hasn't done squat since.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could see Worthy being at like 2-3, but yeah, like I said, Rashee Rice is a good receiver.
They have weapons. They have the best weapon. They have Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. And you have the greatest tight end in this generation.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what the hell's going on with there. I don't know. I think he actually lost the passion for playing. To be honest, he probably, the fact that his brother retired and his brother seems to be like really living it up now. I don't know how close they are. I mean, they host a podcast together and like they look fairly similar, even though one of them looks like way more of a man than the other.
Well,
I'm not going to say which one is which.
One's fathered children, so then.
Yeah, I was just gonna say one has. Does he have
Whatever.
2 or 3 kids now?
Just because his dick works doesn't mean he's a good dad. Okay?
I know.
I think he actually is, but like that's not a qualifier.
No, fantastic. Jason Kelce.
Jason Kelce's good in my book. I don't care. Like Philly fans
Jason Kelce,
suck,
great guy.
But I mean, I think he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce getting on my goddamn nerves, man.
Well, you never liked him since he had his like Find Love reality show.
I didn't even know about that. I don't have cable. I don't watch TV.
Well, I just remember stumbling upon that like 10 years ago.
Maybe 10 years ago. Like, that's a long time.
Well, all I know, Travis Kelce, he was a shoe-in, tight end 1. You took him amongst the wide receivers in terms of when you grab him in fantasy drafts. Like, he was sometimes even round 1 if you were feeling really juicy.
Last year, he was a first-round pick
Yeah, and now,
in redraft.
and I mean, just in our leagues, let me pull up our.
You don't need to rank the
leaders?
tight ends, man. I don't even want to hear that.
Well,
That's going to be really sad.
Well, I mean, just speaking about TN1s, right? Like what we're used to seeing, those like great names, the Kelces of the world, the Kittles. You know, back when Gronk was still around, like they're just slowly, the guards changing. You're seeing guys like Dallas Goedert be up there, Brock Bowers, Cole Kmet, Trey McBride. I mean, those guys are taking over now, and Laporta. You know,
Can't see
stuff
my
like
eyes,
that,
but I am
Dalton
rolling
Kincaid.
them right now. I can't endorse that Dallas Goedert one, dude. Like, that is inexplicable. I choose to ignore that game. He's been trashed for like 2.5 years, and he finally
he's
has
healthy.
a good
He's a
game.
quality tight end, man. He is.
Was he healthy all last year?
No.
Sure.
But that's any player.
Yeah, so, I mean, you just went against your own argument.
Is Tua Tagovailoa a good quarterback when he's fucking healthy? Sure.
I would argue he's not that great, but I mean...
I mean, it depends on who you ask.
Ask Tyreek Hill and him underthrowing every pass.
Well, that's... Tyreek's problem was he was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs and gave Patty Mahomes a $500 million contract.
It's not Tyreek's problem.
That wasn't Tyreek's problem. That's what happened to him.
I know.
Yeah, when you pay someone that much
Ever
money.
since they've been trying to find wide receiver one.
Yeah.
They're maybe have one in Rashi Rice now, as long as maybe.
For sure. I think he's clearly the number one. They target him like the number one. Like,
They sure
he
do.
is. He's getting the touches for sure. But I mean, I think those we're just seeing that now. I mean, look at the last 2-3 drafts in like NFL, especially 2 years ago. How many tight ends went in the second round? Like 6?
in the second round?
Yeah.
I don't think it was 6. It was probably like 3 or 4.
Because Kincaid went.
Kincaid
Laporta
was second round. Was Laporta a second round?
Yeah.
Or was he in
Laporta
first?
was no, I think it was
Laporta was the second round. Shit, you got me questioning.
But,
wanna
I
skip
mean-
the turn with this one.
But I mean, we can go into it. I mean, tight ends, not the most recent draft, but the draft before.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
tight end
Yeah.
gold
2 years
mine.
ag- Yeah, 2 years ago. You
Tight
had-
end gold mine over there. I mean, they're young. I mean, like Kyle, you said it. I mean, they're changing. The position is changing.
Yeah.
The position is circling the drain at the moment. Tight ends
Well, the
across
position-
the league are really bad.
No, the position is just an oversized wide receiver. It's what they're like. It's the way the rules have been changed for this game.
They don't
the
change
days-
that rapidly.
They have. I mean,
Kyle
come
Pitts
on,
is
isn't
still
it-
going to underperform every week.
Well, yeah,
Every
that's-
week.
that's- Oh, who knows? Kyle Pitts has a quarterback now, so we'll see.
I mean, you see, but you're seeing like regression. It's not even just the tight ends specifically. It's all of NFL offenses are just not scoring nearly as many points as they usually do.
Yeah.
What the reason I cannot say. I don't know if it's just a lack of cohesion among the teams. It seems like the goddamn Cincinnati Bengals, like year in year out, they're thought to be like a Super Bowl contending team, and then they're running out of sheets from shit in the bed, man.
Yeah.
It,
didn't they go
they
0-3
have
last
not
year?
looked good all
Didn't they
year.
Didn't they do 0-3 last year too? In the beginning.
I don't know, maybe, but I mean, still.
Yeah, I think they're saying. Yeah, I think they were saying Bengals was a Super Bowl contender until Burrow went down.
Probably.
Well, that.
I mean, yeah,
Once his face took over, it was pretty decent.
yeah, he was half okay. But just
I
looking at
remember
the
that
tight end list, just to give you an idea of the tight end list, I won't go too detailed into it. Well, we have number one.
Probably
I know,
Dallas Goedert.
Commissioner, you're gonna hate this, but Dallas Goedert is tight end 1 after 3 weeks.
Can you tell me what he scored week 1 and 2?
I sure can.
Please do.
Week 1, 5.5.
That's
Week
Kelce.
2, 4.9.
Oh, so he's right on par with Travis Kelce.
And then he had his 22.5 in week 3.
The fact that 1 week puts you to the top of the list is kind of sad. But I mean, it also tells you that's pretty early in the year.
Yeah.
But goddamn.
I mean, but if you're looking at the scoring, right, the average, like, the top 10 guys are scoring of the year are around 20 points or above.
Yeah, I mean, Likely had his one crazy good game, and he kind of teetered off. But I mean, if we scroll down all the way to 24th is Travis Kelce.
I feel like you're picking a fight.
I mean, I'm just
24
saying
sounds actually kind of high.
that's kind of just where he's kind of found himself right now. I mean, he's just not getting the targets he
where
used
he
to.
belongs. He's just been bad. And I have no other choice but to stick with him. It's pretty fucking sad.
I mean,
well, I don't know about even
3 catches and 30 yards a game right now. What do you expect? He's only getting 4 to 5 targets a game lately.
What do I expect? Better. That's what I expect.
Well, I know, but it's hard when he's not getting the looks like he used to.
Yeah. I mean, he used to get the wide receiver level targets. He has, in total...
He only has 12 targets this year.
Which he used to get in one game.
Well, tell Fozzie Bear to fucking throw it to him, man. It's not my fault.
Well, now I need to look up Patrick Mahomes' passing stats because I need to...
Yeah, let me go ask Jake from State Farm. Hang on.
Oh, goddamn.
Oh, God.
Jake
Yeah. Okay, so here's Patrick Mahomes, and we look at his game log. 28, 25, and 39 total attempts in his first 3 weeks. Which, that seems even low for Mahomes.
Well, last year he had kind of an off year, so it wasn't exactly the best last year. So, I mean, you could probably compare the 2 years.
Yeah, but, I mean, he's QB 13 right now in our scoring.
Yeah.
So, it just goes with it just seems he's just not throwing as much, which is odd, at least for Mahomes, and how much Chris Collinsworth chokes on his dick.
There's a guy.
He's contractually obligated to choke on one quarterback's dick a year.
It just happens to be the same one.
It used to be Aaron Rodgers, and before that, it was Peyton Manning.
No, for a while there it was Russ.
For a few years in there with Russ, yeah,
Don't forget about the fucking moon ball, okay?
The moon ball, man. Don't forget.
Hard to forget that kind of thing.
Was that when they had the replacement refs and one person said touchdown, the other said incomplete or interception?
No, this was like...
No, that was a field goal, and that was Russell Wilson's rookie year whenever the replacement refs were in.
Yeah.
Oof. What a time. What a
Back
time.
when Golden Tate was like surprisingly a good wide receiver in the NFL.
Right before he stole Russell Wilson's girlfriend.
Oof. Oof.
It was his wife.
Allegedly, I don't even know. I can't be sued by Golden Tate. Good on him. I always liked Golden Tate.
Did you like him with Detroit?
I actually did.
I actually did too.
He was a decent number 2. Calvin Johnson on the other side?
What a combination.
Yeah.
I miss Megatron. Miss him every day. Surprisingly, what we see in number 3 and 4 in the QB position, Sam Darnold. And then, Sam Darnold. What is happening?
He's just found, like we said last week, he's finally found a franchise that is relevant. I mean, think about it. When he started, he was the starter of the Jets, was a terrible... Adam Gase is a... Let me look around like I'm crazy for a second. Then he went to what? He backed up in San Francisco for a couple years. And now he's at a place where he's got a shot to do something.
Was he with Carolina for a little bit, too?
He was with Carolina last year, I believe. No, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, because he was the backup to Purdy.
Yeah,
That's right.
And I heard some fucking nonsense on the broadcast saying, like, he sat behind Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy taught him a couple things. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Mr. Irrelevant's not teaching anybody anything.
Taught him a couple things. Yeah, Sam Darnold definitely learned a couple things.
Yeah.
They have the same fucking haircut.
Yeah, he was in New York for his first 3 years. Traded to Carolina. And then was in San Francisco last year. And now in Minnesota.
Well, he also,
But again,
if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty of Sam Darnold, you could say, obviously, Adam Gase, who hasn't coached since, his horrible head coaching job in New York. From there, he moved on to, Joe Judge. That's not that impressive.
No, I thought Carolina...
No, Matt Rule. Carolina? Matt Rule, not Joe Judge. Matt Rule. My mistake. I don't know why I get those old college coach. I got all those bastards mixed up.
My college coach.
Your college coach?
Yeah, he's the head coach of Nebraska, baby.
Currently?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's where he belongs.
Nebraska's looking pretty good right now. Nebraska's looking good.
Not in the pros.
Well, good on you, man.
The
Help
rest
you
is
shake
looking
off
good.
the memories of Scott Frost. X
The Browns are
Factor.
looking pretty good.
Dante Hall, baby.
But yeah, Matt Rule obviously had a year off, right, learning a concept offense. And isn't Kevin O'Connell from the Shanahan tree?
Yeah, he's part of the Shanahanigans.
Yeah,
All that
so I
nonsense.
mean, like, obviously familiarity with that system, being able to play.
I guess, but
know,
I'm getting
sit
real
down
tired of
last
hearing
year.
the fucking Shanahan slash McVay coaching trees. Like,
Yeah.
it's them that are responsible for the success of all these other coaches. I'm like, it's their individual abilities to make them separate themselves, man. I'm getting tired of this shit.
But
I know Scott
I know,
hates him, but Matt LaFleur is a fucking. He's turned into a great coach. I don't know how you win with
Oh, yeah.
Malik fucking
But
Willis, but he's done.
at
He's
the-
like 2-0.
why they say that is because the base of the offense is that zone blocking and one cut running backs and the play action, which is what you see out of all those guys.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the more of those guys that get other coaching jobs, the more like homogenized the league's going to get, and it's all going to look the same, and it's all going to be pretty damn boring.
Well, that's what the NFL is.
It's not boring.
Is it?
How dare you?
But it's a good old boys club.
I know, predominantly white. I get it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, if you and I got fired from a fucking job, typically speaking, another company in the same industry probably isn't going to hire us. But not in the NFL.
Not in the NFL.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Rex Ryan. There you go.
I was gonna say
He was a coach
Rex
since.
Ryan.
I know, but
He bounced around a lot.
he didn't.
So did his brother, but for other reasons.
Yeah, at least his brother was. Yeah, well, at least his brother was only a deco. I mean, you have one good season with the Jets, two. I guess you count two. And then you fall apart, and then the Bills hire you.
Don't know how that
The
happened.
Buddy Ryan coaching tree is very small. It's a
That's because
small
he only worried
bonsai
about-
tree that you trim.
That's because he only had one side of the ball he cared about.
Yeah, defense is what matters. Man.
Again, as we know as Cardinals fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sam Darnold,
Yeah,
he's found a home. I would say he's found a home. It's only 3 weeks, but
No,
it looks
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's found his place.
I think
And he has
if-
the most elite wide receiver in the game.
yeah.
certainly
and-
does.
His number two's coming back this week,
Yep.
so that'll
Is it
help
this
the
week?
depth even more. Yeah.
Okay.
The guy that I follow on TikTok, the Dr. Deepak,
Cool. Yeah,
he's been very accurate so far. He says all the data trends that Addison should play this week.
Hopefully
and so
something
far-
drives him to the stadium.
And so far, everything I read off his Instagram has been accurate. So,
Nostradamus, man. It's pretty sweet.
Shout out to
Yeah, man.
him.
yeah, man, he's a doctor.
Deepak, whatever his
He
name
does-
is, because Kyle doesn't know his full name.
It's Deepak Shana. And
Probably. He's probably got enough Twitter followers. He doesn't need, or X.
Yeah, he doesn't
whatever
need me
it's
to shout
called.
out to him, but
Yeah.
I stumbled upon him, and like I said, he as someone that's a fantasy player himself, a medical doctor, and everything he says has been true so far. So, all
Well,
signs
if you talk
point
about
to-
injuries to somebody who specializes in injuries, I mean, yeah, they're
Yeah.
more likely to be right.
I mean, he's talking Love's gonna be back, Walker, Taysom Hill, Raheem Mostert, AJ Brown should be back, Addison Ingram should be playing, Damian Pierce should be playing, Mixon will be back, Kittle, old man
The
Keenan Allen,
floodgates of
David
players.
Njoku.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, he's predicting everybody should be back based off of just based off his knowledge, which is good for me.
I
Because I
mean,
get two of my
Mostert could probably
players
take
back.
his time. They're not going to be good until Tua comes back.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, with how good HN has been looking, they probably don't want to use him.
I mean, he wasn't that good this week. The whole team was crap. They only scored 3 points.
Yeah, not a great Miami turnout this week.
I mean, when the
Right.
team
Shows
is
you have-
they're one dimensional on offense. So I mean,
Yeah.
what can you do?
Run fast.
You would think. But-
the right QB.
But to jump into someone that's had some really good weeks, Jaden Daniels carrying the Commanders right now.
My pick,
Ooh.
right here,
We
The
got
future.
10 more years, motherfucker.
the franchise,
Your franchise.
the franchise.
The franchise at one of
Move
the
over,
worst
Shane
fucking
Douglas.
franchises in the NFL.
Move over, Shane Douglas. Here comes the franchise.
Franchise.
We're a franchise anyway.
That's awesome.
No, I mean he finally had his first passing touchdown this week. Oddly enough, to a offensive tackle, but hey, that's Cliff Kingsbury for you.
It counts. It counts.
It counts.
It's good
You
enough
know,
for Mahomes. It's good enough for him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he threw that great deep ball to Scary Terry, and he put it on the money where only his guy could get it. I mean, and anybody that's watched him in college, we were pretty lucky out here in Arizona to catch his first couple seasons back before ASU fell apart, and we saw what he could do. And as long as he can stay healthy and eventually learn how to slide, so he doesn't keep getting hurt, keep taking big pops.
Oh, he's fine so
He's
far.
on track.
Man. Don't jinx
So
him.
far, so good.
And he's in an offense that fits his skill set, and that's what's key. It's true.
They just need to protect him.
That offense fits him. A quarterback that can move and throw on the run. That's exactly what Jaden Daniels did. We saw that early in the Cliff Kingsbury era in Arizona before everything tanked badly. But we saw what it could do.
For one season until the defenses figure it out, and
Correct.
he can't do that crap next year.
But I
Yeah,
think
that's all well and good.
I
Fine.
think what's different for Daniels is his coordinator is not the head coach.
For sure. He's a terrible head coach. He's a terrible play caller, to be honest.
So
Doesn't take
Yeah.
much to beat the Bengals, though.
no.
I was hoping that Blake would be on today so we could have a live trade conversation today because I was pushing him a little bit to see if he would give up Mr. Robinson. So he has him on the trade block.
Yeah, but for what? What are you going to give him?
I have
You're going to
three
give him.
first-round
You're going to
picks.
give him 4 fucking first-round picks.
Probably not.
You motherfucker.
No, but I was just kind of see what he wanted. I mean, and the listeners can
Yeah.
see just how our conversations go in terms of trades. But
he was on the block, man. Why not?
I would love to
He's on
trade.
block.
Somebody I want to get off Blake's team is freaking Kyler Murray, man.
Yeah, because he doesn't even start on Blake's team, right? He just starts Dak, and
Yeah.
well, because he has CD Lamb. That's why he's going to start him.
No, I understand, but I mean, that was the move I was going to make in the offseason until I got gifted Jordan Love for a second-round pick. Thanks, Joe.
Joe makes bad trades.
Thanks for
Joe's
that.
going for the no picks strategy.
Yeah,
Hey, man,
we'll see how it works out.
listen, you can't fuck up the draft if you don't got picks. So,
Unless someone decides to trade him. Trade him picks.
ask Dick Butkus. I'm sorry, I mean,
Mike Ditka.
Dick Butkus.
Mike Dick Bucket.
Sorry,
Dick was in the name.
Listen,
Oh
they're
my
both
God.
Chicago Bear Hall of Fame players. Get over it. And one was a coach.
One was a supreme asshole, and the other one was Dick Butkus.
The other one was Dick Bucket. Oh man, Mike Dick. The only thing I mostly remember him from was kicking and screaming.
Yeah. But again,
Way to go, Bing Bong.
that's right.
Way to go,
But
Bing
you
Bong.
can't screw up the draft if you don't have picks, so good on him.
Like I
Good
said,
on
not
Joe.
participating is incomplete. It's a NA.
Yeah, well,
You can't fail,
Whatever,
I suppose. Yeah, I don't know.
Can't fail if you don't participate.
you can't
Man,
fail. if you
I'd
don't-
rather
yeah,
participate.
can't fail if
It's
you got
fun
picks.
drafting rookies.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I always enjoy our drafts.
Well, what I love about it, it's definitely like reawakened my my love for college football because that's what I have to pay attention to now. Is that it isn't like redrafts where you kind of go, okay, who did what last year? Like rookies,
They barely
didn't
factor
really
in.
matter. Didn't really matter unless it was
I mean,
like a top
some
10 pick.
do. Like obviously, Marvin would have mattered this year.
Well,
Bijan
yeah.
would have mattered
but
last
not
year.
yeah, but not all of them though.
No, definitely not.
I mean, the
No.
days when people thought Ryan Matthews was going to be a top 10 pick as a rookie because he went to freaking San Diego. Come on.
God damn, I'm trying to remember
Yeah.
Ryan Matthews now.
Fresno State, he was slotted to be a top 10 pick because he was taking over LT.
Oh. Oh God, I remember that now.
Yeah.
Oh, because LT left
But-
for New York, right?
Because LT left for New York. Yeah.
But that's the thing, though, is because everybody saw the production LT did, and he was a little bit bigger than LT, and they thought, the Chargers just reloaded again. Mm-hmm. The guy was a first round pick as a rookie. He shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
But
they expected the production.
Yeah, but that's what I love about our league, right? I have to now watch some of these random college games that we usually wouldn't give a crap about because, I'm looking at like the running back position this year. There's about 5 or 6 that people are projecting to be a top 50 pick in the NFL.
Yeah, probably not first round picks.
Do you think I want to watch Notre Dame football? Hell no. But that guy's. But that running back
I don't want to watch Ohio State either, but they got 2 running backs coming up this year.
They got 2, yeah. I don't want to watch Colorado, but damn, I've been looking at Hunter a lot.
I think you like Sanders.
That's fine. I'm sure Sanders goes to the Giants and just gets destroyed.
Oh god, that'd be so funny. Watching Sanders go to the Giants to replace Danny Dimes.
That's if his dad even lets him.
That's true. That's true.
He's already told everybody. He's already told the press he doesn't want Shador's going to a cold weather city.
Doesn't want to go to a cold weather city. Yeah, because Colorado doesn't get cold at all.
Yeah, whatever. He had to listen. He had to take this job to elevate his kids so that he played in a real power conference. You're not going to get drafted out of the historic black universities.
Yeah, because
probably not.
So, most likely not. Very few.
Pac-12 was a power conference until everyone left.
Yeah.
Now it's Pac-2.
Hey, they got Boise State now, Utah State, Fresno State.
Yeah, they got 6 coming in next year.
Powerhouses that you're listening to.
They got 7 right now. They got 7 coming.
It's gonna be the Pac-7.
Ugh.
But hey,
god awful.
We can talk about college as we get closer to the end of the season. But it's week 3. We just finished week 3, going into week 4. What do you guys think about some way too early rookie of the year? Maybe an MVP. Maybe a
my rookie of the year is Ruby Daniels. MVP. I'm throwing it out there. I think it's Saquon.
Whew.
Ooh.
To have it be won by a non-quarterback would be something special for sure.
I think it's gonna be Saquon.
We were hoping for a CMC last year.
Well, I mean, if CMC did do it last year, I don't think Saquon has a chance.
I think Saquon does. I really do.
He's had the 3 weeks for it so far.
Let's see. Rookie of the year. My current rookie of the year is probably Malik Neighbors, I would say. Because he seems to be on fire, dude. Like, and Daniel Jones has figured out all he needs to do is just throw it to this one dude. He'll probably catch it.
Yeah.
And
mostly.
He's really, really goddamn good. Early MVP. Ooh. I don't think Saquon. I think he's a contender, but I don't think a running back will win it.
Write it
I
down.
think Josh Allen.
Teardrops.
I'm gonna go Josh Allen for MVP.
Saquon Barkley.
I'm not gonna agree with you. It makes for boring conversation.
Put in those bets on Sleeper.
I'll put Josh Allen. Actually, that's a good question. I'm gonna check FanDuel and see who the odds-on favorite is.
See who it is. Oh, by the way, guys, I stumbled upon this. You know who the number 1 scoring player in our league is right now?
Number 1 scoring in our league?
Alvin Kamara still?
I have everybody. Ready?
I thought it was Alvin for a while. But...
Nope. As of right now.
As of right now?
Don't tell me it's fucking...
Is it Saquon?
No,
nope.
It's not Saquon. It can't be.
We did talk about him.
Dallas Goedert?
Nope.
Thank God. I was about to kill myself.
Sam Darnold.
Well, he's leading the league in touchdown passes.
He's got 63 points already.
That's pretty cool.
Good for him.
He's leading our league in points?
Yep.
Yeah, he's the number 1 quarterback. That makes sense.
He's got 8 touchdowns, almost 700 yards passing. I think 1 pick.
Are we looking at the same leaderboard? Because that's not what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Because I see Saquon as number 1.
Did you go to stats, 2024 season, and then click on it to filter?
Oh, well, I'm on the mobile version, but it says Saquon has 89.8.
They don't have different stats depending on the mobile or desktop version.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's showing Saquon at 89.8.
Oops, I lied. That's because I had free agents clicked. My bad.
Let's go.
It is Saquon.
Is it Saquon?
But
It
he is
Saquon.
number 5.
Yeah, Saquon, Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
So the what is this? As of last Thursday, the MVP votings are Patrick Mahomes is the odds-on favorite, but Josh Allen has the same odds actually. So those are the top 2 as of right now. I don't know why these would. Wow, it really goes down after that. And it has Saquon as like the odds-on favorite.
It's a quarterback award.
And Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors are Rookie of the Year leaders as of right now. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks that it's so damn biased towards fucking quarterbacks, but what can you do?
Yeah. I mean, I would throw early Rookie of the Year is Jaden Daniels. Very much a quarterback award if you're a good quarterback carrying that team. And MVP, I say, as long as he can not turn the ball over, is Josh Allen. His biggest thing has been turnovers. If he can keep that number low,
And
like if you keep it at like
Jacksonville
10,
every week, that'd be pretty fucking sick, dude.
yeah. I mean, if you can keep it at 10 or less, yeah. If you can keep those turnovers at 10 or less this year, he is.
You know what I
MVP.
find funny about that is the Jags owner, Shad Khan,
Yeah.
said this is the best Jacksonville Jaguar team ever assembled in its history.
Not true. They went to the fucking playoffs in like their second year of existence, didn't they?
I know. They went to an
Mark
AFC title.
Brunell, man. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
I mean,
Yikes.
I'll just throw it out there. He's not the best NFL owner. He's not the best.
I mean, who is
football
really?
owner.
Who's the best
And
owner?
his son's a terrible wrestling promoter. So let's go from there.
Don't bring his embarrassing child's accomplishments into this.
We can start a wrestling podcast later.
It would just be me talking mad shit for about an hour.
That's
Then
Oh my
trying
God.
to defend why Kenny Omega is worth watching.
Kenny Omega is worth watching.
He is worth watching.
100%. Agreed.
So is Will
He is
Ospreay.
But I don't
I was gonna say
care
Will
to
Ospreay
watch
number 2.
Dynamite, Rampage, whatever else the other show is.
Just watch highlights, man. I don't give a shit. Anywho, we're not talking about wrestling.
But yeah, no more wrestling. But
No more of that.
I believe
The moisture
someone
everywhere is dried
specifically
up.
wanted to talk about one player in particular. We want to talk about some Jawan Jennings a little bit.
Good for that
I
guy.
mean-
Having the game of his life so far. Great guy. Good for, like, did everything right. Got the contract extension this year. Good for him.
He's basically the
These are the kind of stories
antithesis
you don't see in the NFL
of Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, that's
And-
good, Brandon Ayuk.
Brandon Ayuk can't catch the goddamn ball, while this random dude
man.
who nobody put any thought into, with that crazy red hair of his, running
Dude,
out
he-
there and having a career day.
11
Man, oh,
catches, 175 yards, and 3 tutties.
I'm partial to him because I bet on him in last year's Super Bowl. He won me like $70.
The only thing that
Was he the one that helped you win, be like a non-quarterback passing touchdown?
Yeah, that's exactly it. He threw it to McCaffrey and he scored. I was like, this is the best day ever.
the only thing
I
Brandon
covered the
Ayuk's
losses
right now
of the
is
rest
freaking
of the day.
syphilis.
Pretty much. Having to deal with fucking Morgan and her annoying fanship, yeah.
Again,
Oh
things you shouldn't
god.
bring up.
I'll talk shit to her face. I don't give a shit. I'm tired.
That's fine.
All right, but before we jump into what we're looking forward to next week, let's look at some questions and comments that we got over on Spotify and YouTube. Spotify still a little quiet. I didn't see anything over there. Maybe you guys did, but I didn't see anything, at least when I was checking.
People of the league, please ask questions. I don't even care. Like, you can get your more depraved relatives asking random fucking questions. It doesn't matter. We'll answer all of them. I'm an open
Yeah.
book. I'll tell you everything.
It's true,
And
guys.
you can just send us you can just post a comment over on Spotify. You can throw a comment into our YouTube, or you can send us an email. It's at desertdynastyfootball@gmail.com. I will go through the week, and this is what this little bit is for. It's just to interact with whoever is listening out there. So if you're listening or you're watching us, just send us a little something. We'll be happy.
We love you.
Whoever's out there that listens to us, we appreciate you guys listening. But jumping into last week's questions over on our YouTube, a certain commissioner decided to say that the most racist comment was from Blake.
That's accurate. That sounds accurate.
I think that's a good take.
I think it was a very good take, yeah. And the commission had two questions. Who's your all-time favorite fantasy football player? We'll jump in. We'll
answer that one first before the second one, for sure.
Yeah, we'll talk about this one first. Mine can be very quick. I can just give one name: Adrian Peterson.
It's a good pick. He was amazing for fantasy. I think the easy pick for me would be LaDainian Tomlinson because he was so dominant in his day. But personally, my favorite player that I ever had in fantasy, Chad Johnson. Year in, year out. Chad Johnson.
That's my number 2.
Ocho Cinco was always on my team. I love that guy.
Chad Johnson and Calvin Johnson.
Child, please.
Child,
please.
All right, BK.
I think I'm going to have to reference the one player.
Amon Green.
Loosely, when I won my first ever championship, which was the 2002 Buccaneers defense.
Ah, boo. Pick a player. You can't bring up a team defense on an IDP fucking podcast, you goddamn quitter.
Anyway.
Hey, it just said favorite fantasy player. It didn't specify.
Player, yeah, it did. Player.
Honestly, I think it was
Tiki Barber, dude. Tiki Barber was your dude.
He was my dude. But
see,
I won that league because of that defense, though.
I know.
Real. Anyway, no, mine's gonna be Peyton Manning, man. I think it seemed like for a decade, whoever got Peyton Manning won the league.
Pretty close.
And
he was
the year I
great.
got him is when he came off his neck injury and threw 50 touchdowns. That's also the same year AP came off his ACL tear, and he almost had 2,000 yards rushing. And I thoroughly dominated the league that year.
That was
my first championship.
Somehow you got both of those on your team.
You know, it's really scary.
Nobody knew Adrian Peterson was going to be so dominant off of an ACL tear.
Yeah.
He's still like the gold standard for recovery time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
no one has recovered like that.
I took Peyton Manning in the 5th round that year.
Yeah, quarterbacks didn't used to be as valuable.
Because he was coming off that neck injury.
Yeah, you get lucky with 2 dudes coming off injuries.
AP was coming off the ACL tear.
Yeah. AP was swatting asses both hands all the way back from his injury.
Somebody else that year came off an injury that I drafted. I think it was just like, hey, those guys can play similar what they used to be. I'm going.
Just had the all goddamn injury team. Kyle fucking called it from way downtown.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
But yeah, I guess, it has to be Peyton Manning, man. Like I said, it's like I said, it seems like any year you play fantasy when he was in his prime or
man.
Winning.
Shout out, special mentions to Andre Johnson, Priest Holmes, and what's a good one?
You're gonna do Larry Johnson, bro.
Larry Johnson's a crazy person now. He has a podcast and the worst CTE ever.
Oh boy. I fear for his health.
Yeah, fear for the people around him.
But
he's not a good person. I recommend it. I got a podcast for you to listen to about him.
But the second question with the commissioner: blonde, brunette, or redhead?
Ooh.
I'm married to a brunette, so I win.
Chicken shit.
So my wife is a blonde now, but when I met her, she was a redhead.
Was she really?
Yep. So, I guess you gotta say it's a redhead thing?
If Blake was on this, he would say redhead for sure, without even a second thought.
Yeah. Yep. Yes.
Brunette for me.
Mrs. BK was a redhead when I met her. And at times goes back to it. Here and there.
I like dark hair. I don't know what it is.
Good for you.
Dark hair, pale skin. If you look like you started like as a Twilight extra, I'm into you.
Ladies, hit up Justin at the commission.
Don't, please, don't waste your time.
Okay. Well, we had one other question from another owner within our league,
Okay.
and it was from Joe asking, "Is there a rule change in the league you would like to see?" Not sure if he is referring to the fantasy league or NFL. I can do both.
I think he's probably leaning towards fantasy, but yeah, let's go both.
So, BK, why don't you start us off? What are you thinking? Is there a rule change within the fantasy league that you would want to see?
You need time to think about it, I'll go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Kamish.
Okay.
Since you have.
In terms of, I don't know if it's like I don't know if I want an addition to NFL leagues or like just the NFL in general, because I think they like to over micromanage things and create rules where there were none to make the game more unwatchable. I would get rid of taunting 100% all over the board. Taunting is not a penalty. Taunting is sportsmanship. If you don't like him doing that, don't let him score. Hate to break it to you.
I'm all for it.
But in terms of fantasy, what is a good one? We've enacted a lot of the ones that we've come up with over the years. Like we don't do that bullshit where quarterbacks score 4 points instead of 6. A touchdown is a touchdown. A touchdown should be 6 points. Doesn't matter who did it. We have points for tackles, half tackles. Like there's not a lot of room for interpretation between those things. We even have points for fucking 60-yarders. We give out 6 points if your kicker nails the 60-yarder. So I mean, we're at like a pretty good wealth of things in our fantasy league. But it's like, damn, yeah, I don't know if I want to add anything to fantasy. I think we're good in that regard. I don't know if we can add any positions because I think we're pretty well taught.
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of fantasy, I mean, I've only been in this league for not even close to how long it's actually been around.
Yeah, but you're a better part of a decade, right?
Getting there.
Yeah.
I think it was 2016 I had jumped in, or maybe 2017, sometime in there. But yeah, I mean, in terms of fantasy, it's pretty much a well-oiled machine at this point.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I can't think of it. I mean, how could we throw in a kick returner? So, which that is just an additional stat that you would throw on to a receiver or a running back. I mean, if you had, or even a position, because I mean, if you had Devin Hester, I mean, wasn't Devin Hester a defensive back?
Yeah, he was a defensive back, but
So
primarily
just
he's
an
known for being
additional
a kicker.
stat you would throw onto that, but I don't know how that would work. But
That's something actually we could do if we wanted to go forward. Like we could add kick return yards. We just need to add it to a stat category.
yeah,
Right now, we're not too concerned about it. Honestly, we never even paid attention to it because there were no kick returns for the longest time.
yeah. Well, I mean, they're really, which that is also something that I think that like you were getting into with taunting. If they're gonna, I mean, they're adults. If they want to hit each other, let them hit each other. Maybe bring back the old leather caps, then they'll learn to actually tackle properly.
It's a nice idea, but they'll never do that because there's little
No.
guys out there that need to bring down big guys.
Yeah, but in actuality, all jokes aside, a real rule change that I think that the NFL I think should get into is to stop. I know you need to protect the quarterback, but that hip drop shit, like, come on, what do you need to do? Like, tuck them into bed and then read them a bedtime story before you can sack the quarterback? Like, let them get hit. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't really enforced that stupid rule as of yet. And it's injured a couple players, and it has a high potential to injure players because of the way like they fall on their legs and all this other stuff. I mean, but I get where you're coming from on that one.
Let them get hit. It's another position in football. I understand protecting the kicker because a lot of the times you don't have a backup kicker or a backup punter.
Oh,
You have
yeah, I'd get rid of running into the kicker. Fuck that shit, dude. Unless you
the
rough
ones
it,
where
doesn't count.
it's like a legit hit them. Yeah, that like I understand roughing the kicker on that. But like when his leg is fully up and you're just backing up and then you lightly tap him and then he's like, oh god, it looks like It looks like European football out there.
Yeah, do a Johnny Cage shadow kick to his nards, and then you can throw a flag. But beyond that, nothing.
All right, BK, do we give you enough time?
Yes, I think they should get rid of the fair catch on punts.
Like a punter. Ooh.
The
Live
Canadian League
dangerously.
does it. The
What?
Canadian League does it. At the CFL, you cannot. You have to return punts. Now you do get a 5-yard window
Yeah.
to catch it, but I think that should be done. Because none of this fair catch crap.
They also play on a 3-mile field.
Interesting.
I'm just saying, you have to catch it and you have to field it.
All right.
You have to give them the opportunity to catch it, but after that, you cannot wave it off.
Correct.
But they need the space to actually do something with it. It's not going to be a lot of fun if they have to catch it when they're surrounded by dudes.
Well, exactly. But that's the thing. If you look at the way the CFL does it, they have it's either 3 or 5 yard halo that you have to give them before they catch it. So there's guys that literally stop 5 yards before waiting for them to catch the ball and then they tackle them.
Fair.
Interesting.
Secondly, and then for our league, I'm going to say a rule change, but I feel like safeties and
commissioner?
sacks should be worth more points.
The what now?
Safeties and sacks should be worth more points.
Dude, safety's already worth 5 points. Nobody gets safeties.
They should be worth more. Or, here's a crazy rule. If your quarterback gets a tackle, 50 points.
Oh, like they throw an
50 points.
interception, but they get a tackle?
You are high off
I know
your
some-
ass.
Dude, I know some leagues where that's 100 points.
100 points? Whoever's doing that they should have their league revoked.
But
sure.
it's-
They
but,
question their
it's
sanity.
I know, but it's just one of those things. If you got you might start that terrible quarterback and hoping that,
Hoping that he throws it.
and then gets a tackle because you get 50 points for it.
I get that. No, that's kind of in the same line of that one league that we discovered so many years ago, where years and years ago it was Scott, Kyle, and I. We were transitioning into a new format for our fantasy league. Of the very first year we played in CBS Sportsline, which was fun. But I don't even know if that's still a thing anymore. That was a lifetime ago. But then we transitioned into Yahoo, and Yahoo's a very popular format for fantasy. We first got into that. We didn't have a league to join, so we joined public leagues together. And while we were browsing around, we actually noticed there was this one league where you got points for all the things that your players did wrong. You got if your dude threw an interception, you got 10 points. If they threw a touchdown, you lost points. If they lost a fumble, you got positive points. Your defense, if they gave up a lot of points, you got more points. It was a wild concept.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Do you want to draft the worst team?
Absolutely. You draft worst players. But you need to have guys that actually play. You can't just have the worst guy that you know of that's probably benched. Yeah, it's I saw that. We saw that thing over 20 years ago, and it's still fresh in my mind. I still think about that crap. I'm like, who the hell came up with this idea? That's so off the wall. It's wild.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'd like to see more points for sacks. If
More
not
points.
sacks, necessarily more points for safeties. That's my opinion. Because they don't happen a lot.
It needs to be 75.
Not 75. I think
Somewhere between
25 right now. I
between
think
one
safety should be. I think safety should be 10 points.
10?
10 points for a safety. Yeah.
I thought 5 was ridiculous.
No, I think 10 would be perfect.
Something we can bring up at the commissioner meeting before our rookie draft next year.
Ooh, yeah, get ready for a hearty no on that one.
That's fine. I'm just saying.
But-
I'm just throwing it out there.
But to wrap it all up here, boys. So going into week 4, is there kind of piggybacking off of what we did a couple weeks ago with Kyle's heroes and zeros? We'll just talk about just one offensive player and maybe one defensive player you're looking at. Is there an offensive player that you are hoping will do well, and how about a defensive player that can maybe step it up?
I'm hoping that Jordan Love
Hope is
comes
all
back.
but dead. What?
I want Jordan Love to come back. What
That's
I
a
want.
hope. That is a
It's a
hope
hope,
for
baby.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan Love come back defensively. I just really hope that Aiden Hutchinson continues his streak of sacks. It'd be really nice to see him make Geno Smith's life uncomfortable for next week.
It's possible. The Hawks have not had a good line in a long time.
So
It's been many a year.
Many years since the years of Matt Hasselbeck.
I want to do our impression.
Yeah. The balding
Commissioner, what do
wonder.
you think? Offense and defense, what are you looking at?
Well, let's see. I did kind of nail that Andy Dalton thing last week, just to keep an eye out for that dude and then watch him go crazy against the Raiders last week. So I feel good with my predictions going forward. The dude I'm looking to see.
Your one prediction, and now you feel good about the rest of the year.
You gotta, if you want to go to mile, you got to take that first step. Okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
The guy I'm probably looking forward to the most, selfishly speaking, I want to see if Roschon Johnson can be can emerge as the clear best running back for Chicago, because I think the world is starting to figure out what I've known for a couple of years and what some of us in this league already know for a couple of years, is that DeAndre Swift is hot dog shit at the position. He sucks so fucking bad, it's not even funny.
He's hot garbage.
I don't know. He looked pretty good with Philly. He helped me win a championship in a different league a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah.
That was last year. He's no longer on Philly.
Nope, not anymore.
He's also so good that he's on his third team in 3 years. So, there's that.
Go DeAndre Swift.
I'm looking to see, hopefully, that... plus, I think Roschon Johnson is actually the better pass blocker because he's a bigger body. The other two guys are fucking small. And from what I've been able to see these past couple weeks, they need help protecting this fucking rookie quarterback they have. Bring in the big back to help pick up the blitz, dude. Like, it's not rocket science. I don't understand what they're doing. So, I'm looking for him on the offensive side. Defensive side, I want to see if Andrew Van Ginkel can keep the streak going to like 10-plus points. I'd like to see my other players scoring some points. Like Ryan, my DBs have been really fucking bad so far, but I would like to see that my best player continues with his production going forward. So if he can keep the streak of double-digit points going into Week 4, I'll be pleasantly surprised, to be honest. Yeah. So those are the things I'm looking for.
Good stuff. Well, my biggest thing is just C.J. Stroud bouncing off of the not-so-great performance he had last week to kind of bounce back against Jacksonville, which I can only assume he'll recover just fine.
Probably.
You know, I'm looking at Brandon Cooks being a better wide receiver 2 option for Dak Prescott when they're going against the Giants, which I would assume they'll do okay there.
Oh, but, man, I mean, if the Giants beat the Cowboys, holy shit.
I mean...
We have to call Blake every 15 minutes,
we'll
make sure he's okay.
We'll have to call Blake, yeah. We'll have to get Blake on. We'll have to make sure Blake gets on next week.
For sure.
And on the defensive side, Kyle Hamilton is starting to bounce back. He'll have a good game against Buffalo, but it's my replacement for Derwin James in what's his name? I need to find his first name. L'Jarius
Those pesky
Sneed.
players that are on your team. I mean, who can keep track?
Well, because I just grabbed him because I needed another defensive back. I wasn't really paying attention because I was just going to rely on Kyle Hamilton and Derwin James. But I actually have L'Jarius Sneed from Tennessee, who's been actually okay.
Fair enough.
He put up 7 last week, so I think he'll do okay. The hope is that, I actually score some points with my linebackers, but it's just... I've kind of written off this season. I don't know if the listeners can tell, and the rest of the rest of our league can tell. Yeah. I'm not doing too hot right now. So
pretty obvious that you're kind of desperate to win. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, I have fully accepted. I'm not gonna go very far this year. I just want to not to be 1-13.
That would be tremendous. That would be not good for.
That would be not good for me, especially when rivalry week comes up.
2 weeks, man. 2 week rivalry week special. Actually, next week will be the rivalry week special.
Yeah, next week will be we'll discuss our rivalries.
Gonna have to get Nick Stumper on this one so I can talk mad shit to him.
I'm gonna have to make sure Matt's down to get his. I need to get his T-shirt size so I can buy him that Zayvon Collins jersey.
He's no bigger than a large, I promise.
I was just say he's probably a large. He's probably what I wear. Well, boys, before we sign off, any last comments, any last thoughts before we let you out here?
Last thoughts.
Trust your gut. Go with your feelings.
It's not a fart.
Screw.
It's not a fart.
And screw the analysts. People overthink this stuff too much.
Yeah.
That's a good shout.
My last thing: ignore projections. Go with statistics and use your head. Use your gut and your head.
Good shouts. All right, boys. Well, we'll get you out of here. And everyone that's listening, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You can leave us a comment over on YouTube. You can, leave us a comment over on Spotify. We love to hear from you guys. Get some questions rolling. Kind of like what we did a little bit before. We just like to hear from you guys, and and we'll put up a poll over on the Spotify side. I'm still trying to figure out the YouTube. Oh my gosh. But go check out the Spotify side. I'll put a poll up to kind of go over different things we've been talking about. Check that poll out. We'll review results beginning. And then you can always shoot us an email as well over at desertdynastyfootball.com at gmail.com. I cannot talk today. But, whoever's out there listening, whoever's out there watching, we appreciate you, and we'll see you guys next week.